Hey guys, Mr. Quality Guy here, and you didn't read that title wrong. Your new car is bad, and you should feel bad. But is that really an issue? Well, simply put, no. But is your new car bad? And the answer is yes. So, when we talk about bad, what are we talking about? We're talking about parts being out of tolerance. So, in your new car or used car or any sort of vehicle you own, something is going to be out of tolerance. Now, whether that's going to be a critical issue is more than likely no. So when we talked earlier about tolerancing and how things are toleranced, we have to understand that everything has a tolerance to it. And, mostly speaking, tolerances in general are bull. But they're there to somewhat control. The only tolerances that really truly matter for the most part are your critical tolerances and or your mating tolerances if you're in sheet metal or whatever. But more than likely, a random distance between 2 points may not matter at all because it's just there to control something or to prevent it from being way too large or way or beyond too small. But if it's long as it's in the close neighborhood, it'll probably work. Now, what does this mean? Well, for example, let's take a look at an engine with a bore size of 75 millimeters. And let's say the tolerance is 75 plus or minus 0.1 and minus 0.1. So, you have 75.1 to 74.9, and that's for the engine bore size. But let's say it measures out at 75.105. Technically, it's out of tolerance and would be no good, but that doesn't mean it's not good or not usable. See, we have this lovely thing called stack ups. So when we go to assemble it, the piston rings could be slightly oversized, and then that would take up the difference in slop of that extra 5 microns. Now, mind you, 5 microns is not a lot. It's probably not even going to be noticeable at all. And 5 microns to the large size, probably not going to make a difference. But to the small size, it could. But that's what we're talking about when we're talking about how your new car or your used car or any vehicle you own is more than likely out of tolerance. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but we just have to be, the definition of good and bad. And in the quality world, our definition of bad is anything out of tolerance. So, even if it's the most minute thing in the world that makes no difference at all into how the vehicle forms, functions, and fits, it's still out of tolerance. And you'd be amazed on how sometimes there's even parts sent that are purposefully out of tolerance. So a lot of times in manufacturing, if we have parts that don't meet the tolerance, we will then go to the manufacturer and say, hey, we've got, let's say, 10,000 parts that don't meet tolerance. If we don't send these to you or we don't get approval to use them, they will shut you down. Can we get approval to send them to you? And more than likely, they will say yes. But that is also dependent on a risk factor. If it's anything of a safety item, that is instantly a no-go. Any safety items do not qualify for a deviation. Meanwhile, non-safety items or low criticality items will normally qualify for a deviation. Is this making sense to you? So, simply put, every vehicle in the world is non-conforming. But that isn't a bad thing in this case because non-conforming doesn't mean non-functional. This is something we need to understand is the difference between non-conforming and non-functional. Non-conforming means it does not meet the design set. Non-functioning means, well, it just don't work. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video and to understand that just because something is non-conforming doesn't make it bad. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you around next time.